Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, I'm Zahirah Wishal Prijasy Syafaat with study number 202-105-10082 from University of Muhammadiyah Yogyakarta. So in this video, we will learn together about the history of the development of philosophy. Philosophy is an attempt to understand the universe in terms of its meaning and values, which is not enough to be reached only with the five human sense thought. The field of philosophy is very broad and comprehensive as far as the mind can reach. Philosophy seeks to answer questions about the origin and nature of the universe in which humans live and what is the purpose of their lives. The philosophical method is a questioning method. The formal object of philosophy is the questioning ratio. The material object is all that exists. There are 6 periods in the development of philosophy. The first, the ancient Greek age. Second, the Dark Ages. Third, the Enlightenment age. Fourth, the early modern age. Fifth, modern age. And the sixth, postmodern age till now. We enter to the first, that is, ancient Greek age. The period of Greek philosophy is the most important period in the history of human civilization. This is because at the time there was a change in the mythological mindset, namely a mindset that relied heavily on myths to explain natural phenomena. In this period, the first philosopher to study the origin of nature emerged, namely Thales. However, the golden age of ancient or classical Greek philosophy was reached during the time of Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle. Of the three people, they each have their own opinion about philosophy. The first, Socrates. Socrates was a teacher. Whenever Socrates taught his knowledge, he never charged his students. For this reason, the sophists accused themselves of imparting new teachings. They undermined morals and opposed the state's belief in youth. Then he was arrested and executed by drinking poison at the age of 70 years. His philosophical thinking is to investigate human beings as a whole, namely by appreciating physical and spiritual values, both of which can't be separated because with the linkage of the two things, many values can be generated. Next, Plato. Plato was born in Athens. He studied philosophy from Socrates, Pythagoras, Heraclitus, and Elijah. So, according to Plato, idealism in terms of its teaching that reality is nothing but a projection of a world of ideas that is eternal and therefore what exists is idea itself. Other works and very deep and broad covering logic, epistemology, anthropology, theology, ethics, aesthetics, politics, ontology, and natural philosophy. The last is Aristotle. Aristotle is a student of Plato. Aristotle was born in Stagiria, northern Greece. For Aristotle, the idea doesn't lie in the eternal world as proposed by Plato. For, For Aristotle, idea is not located in the eternal world but lies in reality or the things themselves. His works include logic, ethics, politics, metaphysics, physiology, natural science, rhetoric, and politics and economics. The second is the Dark Ages. This era is known as the Middle Age. Philosophy at this time was dominated by religious thought, namely Christianity. The pinnacle or Christian philosophy is patristic and patristic scholasticism. The teachings of these church fathers are philosophical theological. This teaching wants to show that faith corresponds to the deepest thoughts of man. These teachings are heavily influenced by Pelagians. In the scholastic period, the influence of Plotinus was taken over by Aristotle. At this time, Aristotle's thoughts were again known in the works of several Jewish and Islamic philosophers, namely through Avicenna or Ibn Sina, Averroes or Ibn Rushd, and Maimonides. Aristotle's influence was so great that he was called the philosopher. The third is the Age of Enlightenment. A Polish astronomer named N. Copernicus put forward his findings that the center of the circulation of celestial bodies is the sun, or heliocentrism. However, the findings of N. Copernicus were not welcomed by the Church authorities because they considered that the theory put forward by N. Copernicus was contrary to the theory of geocentrism, or, or Earth as the center of the circulation of celestial bodies, proposed by Ptolemy. For the reason, Copernicus was sentenced to life imprisonment by Church authorities. Fourth is early modern age. At this time, the ruling Christian and the source of the authority of truth experienced discretion, and also the beginning of a century of decline for Muslims. Franciscan Roger Bacon, who adhered to the school of empiricism and realism, tried to oppose various policies of the Church and the authorities at the time. This period also caused divisions in Christianity, namely Catholicism and Protestantism. At this time, modern philosophers assert that knowledge doesn't come from scriptures or religious teachings, nor from rules, but from themselves. The fifth is modern age. In the 18th century began to enter a new development. Philosophers at this time are called empiricists, whose teachings emphasize that knowledge is possible because of human sensory experience. The great English empiricists include J. Locke, J. Berkeley, and D. Hume. In France, J. Rousseau, and in Germany, Immanuel Kant. Immanuel Kant, in his work entitled Creating the Reine Vernunft, published in 1781, gave a new direction of the philosophy of knowledge. In his book, Kant introduced a new conceptions of knowledge. And lastly, there is postmodern age. In the 17th and 18th centuries, the development of the philosophy of knowledge showed major currents of rationalism, empiricism, and idealism by maintaining broad areas, and also the emergence of new schools of philosophy, including positivism, Marxism, and existentialism, pragmatism, neo-Kantianism, neo-Thomism, and phenomenology. According to Comte, human thought can be divided into three stages. There are theological, metaphysical, positive, scientific. So that was an explanation of the history of the development of philosophy from ancient Greece to the present. Hope it is useful. Thank you very much.